Good morning guys. So what I'm going to be working on today is installing this mini split AC unit in our tiny house. So the installation of this unit is going to be, it's going to be essentially the same if you're installing it in a tiny house or in a regular house or an apartment or anything like that. The only difference that I can think of is that this unit is rated at 120 volts, whereas some other mini split AC units are rated at 240 volts. So that's just going to change a little bit how you do the electrical portion of it. So I got this unit here at Lowe's. It was a special order. They don't typically stock items like this. So the three main components that the AC comes with is the outdoor unit, and then this is the inner blower unit. And then it also comes with the refrigerant lines, which attach from the blower unit to the outside unit. Some other things that you might need for the installation of this is I've got a 25-foot roll of 1/2-inch liquid tight. So this is so that I can run electrical cables outside. And the liquid tight does what it kind of sounds like it does. It protects the wires from water, so that's really good. I've got an AC disconnect. Then I've got these 1/2-inch liquid tight connectors, which you use to connect the liquid tight to the AC disconnect. I've got some 3/4-inch EMT straps, which is used to basically secure the liquid tight here. I've also got some tech screws, which I'm going to be using to secure the clamps to the trailer. So as you mount the blower unit inside, you basically drill a big hole through the wall, and in that hole you pass the refrigerant lines and the electrical lines through. And then when it reaches the outside, you want to protect obviously that hole, and you want to make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. This is a mini split cover pack, so you have your 90 coming out at the top, and then you've got the refrigerant lines running down the side of the house through this chase cover or whatever you'd want to call it, and then it goes from there down into the outdoor unit. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is mounting the blower unit on the inside using this bracket here that comes with the unit. So I'll be drilling a decent sized hole through the drywall, through the insulation, the sheathing, and then the siding. And I think this is a 2 or 2.5-inch hole saw that I'm going to be using for it. So the first thing that I'm doing here is I'm just trying to find the center of the AC unit on the wall to figure out exactly where I'm going to be attaching the bracket. So the bracket, you can see I'm using a level just to make sure that it's level. Now I'm just using a drywall saw to start some holes in the wall so that I can attach the bracket using toggle bolts. With the bracket in place, I can now start to figure out exactly where I'm going to be drilling my hole for the refrigerant lines and the electrical lines to pass through the wall. So with using the hole saw, I just drilled through the drywall, and then I just stuck my fingers through just to make sure that I wasn't going to be basically drilling into any wires or anything like that that might be in the wall. Now I'm using the same hole saw with an extension bit to basically get through the sheathing and the siding. Now I'm just using a little bit of this tape just to wrap the refrigerant lines and the condensation line and the electrical lines, just so that it's a little bit easier just to pass through the hole. The mini split unit came with these little hole covers, and now I'm starting to pass the electrical wires and the control wire through the hole in the wall. Now this is probably the most complicated part of the installation, is just trying to get this mounted on the wall nice and securely. Now I'm installing the outdoor 90-degree piece for the chase cover kit, and I'm just screwing that directly right to the siding. And the same thing with this 10-foot piece of the cover kit, just screwing it directly to the siding. Now I'm just leveling the ground here for the foundation blocks that the outdoor unit is just going to be sitting on. I talked to a number of guys about whether or not I need to bolt the outdoor unit down, but they said you can basically just put it right on top of the foundation blocks. If you're to mount the outdoor unit on a roof, for example, you would want to secure it to the roof. But if it's just going to be sitting on the ground like this, then there's really no issues with just sitting it on a solid foundation. I'm just checking to make sure that the foundation blocks are level both ways, just so that the unit's going to be sitting nice and plumb and level. Inside the utility box, I'm just drilling a hole so that I can pass the liquid tight into the utility box. And now I'm just securing the AC disconnect box to the trailer just using some Tech screws. And then coming out of the side of the AC disconnect box, I'm just using a 1/2 inch liquid tight connector to connect the liquid tight right directly into the utility box. For this installation, I'm just using 12-2 Romex just because it's what I had left over from the build of the tiny house, but you could use 14-2 because the unit is only rated at a maximum of 10 amps, which will work perfectly on a 15 amp circuit. I'm using some 3/4 inch EMT straps in order to secure the 1/2 inch liquid tight to the trailer. So I had a local HVAC company come and finish off the refrigerant lines. They were definitely way too long, so he had to shorten them and then do a vacuum on the lines, and then he was able to charge the system up. So wiring up the inside of the AC disconnect is pretty simple, just moretting the neutrals together and then just having the basically the one hot line be controlled by the 15 amp fuse. They sell the fuses in packs of 2, so if the one ever blows, then I have another one in the AC disconnect ready to be replaced. So I'm just finishing off the refrigerant lines and the electrical lines on the outside here just by wrapping some of this tape that was included with the kit. So it just kind of cleans everything up a little bit. And then I had to notch out a piece on the cover plate to the outdoor unit so that I could pass the quick connector through. The extra bit of wire from the indoor unit I basically stuffed inside of the chase unit on the outside just so that I didn't have to remake any of the connections on the quick connector there. Now I'm just cutting a slit in the liquid tight with my tin snips just so that I can protect the wire coming from the cover kit that is going directly into the outdoor unit. So this is what the finished product looks like. You can see the condensation line that'll just drip right into the ground right there. And then the liquid tight is finished inside of the outdoor unit just to protect the wires just from any nicks or anything like that. All right, so this was the first morning that we're able to turn on the mini split and have it pump in some heat into the tiny house. So with this mini split, it's got like a heat pump and obviously it's got air conditioning as well. So we're able to switch between the two, which is really nice. So it saved us from having to buy like a little heater for inside there. But it's definitely really useful on some of these very brisk, chilly Arizona mornings here in the desert. But overall, the installation process for the mini split is, as you saw in the video, not that overly complicated or anything like that. What's really nice about this unit here is that it does run on 110 volts, which I would say is really ideal for people who are living in tiny houses because you might not have 240 volts available, especially if you're just running off an extension cord. You're only going to have 110 volts. So overall, things went very smoothly. I would recommend hiring an HVAC company to do the refrigerant lines just because it's something that you could really mess up. And if you don't have all the proper tools for it, I mean, it's not really worth it for you to buy like a pump and to do all that kind of stuff. So it was only $90 just to get the guy just to hook up the lines. He was out here just for about an hour or so. And yeah, so a lot of you are gonna be like, oh my God, there's like a shed there. You haven't posted any videos about it. I've been recording every single step of this, and when I'm done with the shed there, then I'm going to basically make one video for the entire build of the shed. And I think it's gonna be really cool. We're a whole lot closer to getting out here and living out here permanently. So the water tanks are gonna be coming soon. And it's really nice to have that shed so that I don't have to store tools and stuff outside. I'll be able to actually store them, you know, under a roof. Awesome, thanks so much for watching, guys. I will catch you on in the next video. If you really like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comment box below. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you soon. Peace.